Welcome to Vaishya IAS. So we'll be continuing with the Plums series of polity, governance and schemes today. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing this channel so that you will be getting daily free updates on UPSC. And if you're looking for a good quality test series, then you can contact the number which is given on the screen 7200681675. Okay, let's move on to the first question for today. Who is authorized to decide over a dispute regarding the disqualification of a member of parliament? So this is a question taken from the portion parliament, and you should be knowing this question by this time. Okay, so if you see, for the disqualification of a member of parliament, there are two mechanisms. One is anti-defection law and the other is the one which is mentioned here. So here the ultimate authority to decide over the dispute regarding disqualification, it is president. And if you know that the election commission is also involved in this process, election commission of India will be giving a decision to the president and which is binding on the president. This you have to take care. And the other route is anti-defection law, and today's homework for you is to look for the anti-defection law and who is the authority involved in the anti-defection law, who takes the decision on the disqualification of a member. Okay, so please revise these portions. Okay, so moving on to the next question. The word secular denotes. Okay, so this is a typical question which is asked in polity in recent times. In the previous years, the trend has been like this. They'll be picking up certain terms and they'll be asking the meaning. And here the probability of getting wrong is more because options will be looking similar. So please do these kind of questions repeatedly. You can refer the previous year question papers itself, that will be fine. Okay, so here you have to skim through the options. The secular word denotes, and always keep in mind that whenever there is a question from polity, you have to think from the Indian perspective unless mentioned otherwise in the question. Okay, Indian perspective is to be thought of. Okay, so you shouldn't be thinking in a world perspective when the question is coming from Indian polity, because the subject itself is Indian polity only. Okay, so if the question specifically mentions about a world perspective, then you can go for a world perspective. Otherwise you have to think in an Indian perspective, and this particular thing applies very well here. Okay, so here the secular meaning, it is actually denoting with respect to the Indian perspective. If you have gone through the Lakshmikant, you would have learned that there is a difference between the Indian secularism and the other forms of secularism found in the world. With respect to the Indian secularism, what is mentioned is this option number B, freedom of religion and worship to all the citizens. Okay, so it is respecting all the religions equally. All the religions are to be seen equally, and it is not the absence of religion. Okay, sometimes secularism can be connotated like this also, but here in the Indian perspective, it is the freedom of religion and worship to all the citizens. Okay, so every religion and everyone is treated equally by the government. That is the concept of Indian secularism. Okay, so here I have given some explanation. You can go through this. Okay, now come to the next question. The President of Union of India has the same constitutional authority as the. Okay, so here is the comparison based question. Okay, so comparison based questions are also important. So the major polity you have to compare, like US, UK, then Switzerland. Okay, we have taken many constitutional things from the world. Okay, from world constitution we have taken some important items, like parliamentary form of government is taken from UK. Then what are the things you have to learn? What are the differences and similarities between the Indian constitution and the world constitution, and what all provisions have been incorporated in the Indian constitution from the world constitution. Okay, that is a table which you should learn from the Lakshmikant. So here the question is, the President of Union of India, it is equal to which office of the below options. Okay, so here British monarch, President of USA, President of Egypt and President of USSR. So here if you see, the President of Union of India, it is the nominal executive. Okay, so it is the nominal executive, it is not the real executive. Who is the real executive? Prime Minister plus Council of Ministers is the real executive with respect to the Indian polity. So if the President is nominal executive, here the same constitutional authority which is the nominal executive is British monarch. Okay, if you see the British monarch also, it is the nominal executive only. So the correct answer to this question is A. Okay, so British monarch is the correct answer. Then come to the next question. Which of the following is added in the concurrent list through amendment? Okay, so this is also a typical question. Through amendments, important amendment you have to learn, and what are all the provisions provided in important amendments. Okay, so there are three lists: state list, concurrent list, and central list. Okay, so out of the three lists which is mentioned in constitution, so there are three lists, and you have to go through the main items of the three list, not all. Okay, not all is required, but you should be having a fair idea as to which all subjects are placed in which all list, and the important ones you have to learn. So whenever you study these kind of portions, no, you have to go through the previous year question papers and look for the options. So if you look at the options here, if all these options, forest, education, police, agriculture, etc., becomes important, and from that you have to do the option analysis. Okay, option analysis of PYQ is important. Whatever subjects are mentioned in the options of the previous year question papers, that you should go and learn, that you should check suppose education, it is coming under which list, then policy, it is coming under which list. So these are the important items. Okay, so here if you see, the correct answer is A, forest. Okay, forest was added in the concurrent list through an amendment. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. The Constitution 43rd Amendment. So it is talking about the 43rd Amendment. Okay. So with regard to amendment, you need not go through all the provisions. Okay. No detailing is needed. Just you have to know the amendment number and what it is concerned with. One line. Okay. Just one line is enough. Nothing more. You can expect a question from UPSC. Whether in prelims or mains. Okay. Both in prelims and mains. Mains where you are going to use, you'll be quoting this amendment in somewhere. Okay, somewhere you'll be quoting this particular amendment with respect to the question. In prelims also you'll be getting just the provision. Okay, if you see this question, this is the exact pattern. Okay, so more than this you need not go deep into that. Okay, so 43rd Amendment, it is talking about the restoration to the High Courts and Supreme Court about the jurisdiction to consider the validity of central or state law. So here it is talking about the judicial review. Judicial review is given to both the High Court and Supreme Court. Okay, judicial review is given to both the High Court and Supreme Court, and both the High Court and Supreme Court, they can review any central law or the state law. Okay, it is not like High Court can review only state law and Supreme Court can review only central law. No, that is not the case, because ours is an integrated judiciary. Okay, so ours is an integrated judiciary, and actually 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, it actually strike down these powers of the High Court and Supreme Court, and 43rd was seen as a corrective mechanism to the 42nd Amendment. Okay, so this is also to be kept in mind. 42nd, as you know, it was a mini constitution and it has done many amendments to the constitution. So out of those amendments, some need to be corrected to uphold the constitutional morality, and accordingly the 43rd Amendment came into force, wherein the powers of the High Courts and Supreme Court to decide upon the validity of any central or state law was restored. And this is all that you need to know about this amendment. Please don't go into deep. Okay, any amendment, please don't go into deep. You have to be exam specific. Okay, you have to be exam specific. Don't overload with information. Okay, that is to be kept in mind. Okay, so this is the last question for the day. That's the end of today's session. So we'll meet in the next week in the next episode. Until then, stay tuned. Thank you.